Step into the vibe, let me tell you what's real.
In the shadows and the light, there's power to feel.
Voices of Abba, bringing wisdom like gold.
We won't let the stories of our lives go untold. Change is a whisper that you can't ignore. The future's a heartbeat, it's knocking at the door. Every lesson learned, every truth that we find, with purpose in our steps and the world in our mind.
Welcome to the Voices of Abba. Joining us today is Executive Director from Housing Help, Inc., Pilar Moya, and your host, Terrell Huddleston.
Welcome to the Voices of Abba with Terrell here as usual. And today we have Executive Director Pilar of Housing Help, Inc.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you, Terrell. Thank you, Abba. As always, I'm extremely happy to be here in beautiful Hempstead, and really excited that we are working together and that we continue the efforts of outreaching to our, to all communities.
What is Housing Help?
Housing Help is a HUD certified housing counseling agency, meaning that we are certified by the federal government to provide free housing counseling services. Housing Help is also a non-profit organization. So all the services that we provide are free.
Free, okay. So my first question is what is Housing Choice Voucher Program?
So we have at Housing Help, we recently started a program called the Housing Choice Voucher Outreach Program. And through this program, the goal of the program is to be able to assist anybody who is a current voucher holder, be able to maintain and keep their benefit and don't risk losing it. And our goal is to help them not lose their benefit. Now, the Housing Choice Voucher Program itself, formerly known as Section 8, is a federal program funded by HUD, and that helps low-income individuals and families, senior citizens, people with disabilities, afford rent in the private market.
Okay. What is the program you're talking about today?
It's the outreach program, and this program is for people who already have a housing choice voucher or people who were recently removed or terminated from the voucher program and need help understanding what happened. It is not for people who are on the waiting list. However, if someone feels that they were removed from the waiting list with no good reason, they can also reach out to us. This program is not for people applying for the voucher program for the first time, and we want to make sure that we make that very clear. The goal is to protect the current vouchers, because we've seen through our work in the community that voucher holders are losing their benefit. And that it's really very negative impact. It negatively impacts the individuals, families, and in many cases, children.
So this is a program for, just to repeat what you said. So this is a program for voucher holders, not for people that's trying to get a voucher, but this is the protection of people with vouchers that may be losing it or having an issue with maintaining it.
Correct.
So why do people lose their voucher?
So people could lose their voucher if they receive like a termination letter, right? They can lose their voucher. If they miss submitting paperwork, or they miss a recertification appointment. If they receive court papers, maybe they're being evicted. If the housing authority says that the tenant has violated a rule, and we see that happening very often. So, these are the reasons why a person could lose their voucher.
Right. So what should someone do if they get a termination notice?
If somebody receives a termination notice, the first thing that they need to do is they should give us a call. please, we ask you to act fast. There are many deadlines, especially when someone receives a notice. You should understand that you have rights, including a right to request an informal hearing, and you have only a certain period of time to do that. So please act fast. If you don't know how to request a hearing, give us a call. We can do this for you, and we can also contact a pro bono legal services and attorney to help you during that hearing. Then do not wait too long, because then you will lose that right. And if you get any type of notices, please give us a call. Really, it is very hard for many individuals and families when they receive this notice, and they're going through so much stress, so much happens that sometimes we tend not to open the mail, or we pretend to pretend that the situation doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
So, our message is that, number one, you're not alone. You have HUD certified housing counselors, right, that are willing to help you at no cost to you. And if this is a case that you need to have an appearance in court, we will make sure that we get you a pro bono attorney. Now, we work very closely with Legal Services of Long Island. So we're going to help you through that process so that you are very well represented.
Okay, so are you guys lawyers?
We are, thank you for that. That's a very good question. We are HUD certified housing counselors. So all the housing counselors, they are all college graduates, and their backgrounds are in accounting, finance, business administration. And in order to become certified by the federal government, they have to go through lots and lots of training, and they have to take a test. Many don't pass the test in 5 times because it is so difficult. It's like getting a license to be able to provide housing counseling. So we are housing counselors. We are not lawyers. I only play lawyer at home with my 3 children. But other than that, no.
Okay. Can a landlord refuse someone because they have housing choice voucher?
So in New York State, landlords cannot refuse to rent to someone just because they use a housing choice voucher or any other type of voucher. Some tenants receive vouchers from the Department of Social Services or other type of vouchers. No a landlord cannot refuse to rent because of source of income. That is considered a fair housing violation. And if this is something that has happened to you, there is a fair housing agency on Long Island called Long Island Housing Services. We will be happy to provide that information to you, and you can check it on the website.
What are the most important things voucher holders must do?
Always pay your portion of the rent on time. That is perhaps the most important thing, and perhaps the number one reason why people can lose their vouchers. Report income changes immediately, and that is so important because sometimes maybe an adult child moves out of the home, right? So now that income is lost, right? Right. So now your total income is reduced. So maybe your benefit might increase. But also at the same time, if a new person moves into your household, right? Then you also need to notify, and you also need to notify their income. We see that also happening. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then always report when someone moves in, always report when someone moves out. Go to all your recertification appointments. If you know ahead of time that you're not going to be able to attend, put it in writing. Inform them, whether it's by email, in writing, that you need to set up a new appointment. And also open all your mail from the housing authority. That is very important. And also keep copies of everything. Mm-hmm.
So always keeping copies and keeping on top of your paperwork is very important. I have probably one of the most important questions that I know people are curious about is this program free?
Yes, the program is free. Our housing counselors, they don't charge. We don't charge. It's all free, and we only work with pro bono attorneys, meaning
Okay.
that even the legal services that you will receive from Legal Services of Long Island, it's also free. We do not work with any paying attorneys.
Okay. Good to know. Who should call you?
So only current housing choice voucher holders should call us, or maybe those recently removed from the program. So if you lost your benefit recently,
Now what's recent? Cause
I will say in the last 6 months.
so the last 6
In
months.
the last 6 months, you should also call us. And also anyone who is at risk of losing their voucher or their housing. I had a case of a senior citizen who live in senior housing, and she's a voucher holder, and unfortunately, for circumstances, she had to take legal guardianship of her grandchild, who is, I don't know, it's a teenager. And she got a notice because this child is not allowed to live in senior housing. So she was in violation, right? And she was at risk of losing her benefit, right? So if this is happening or similar things happening, people really should give us a call, because if needed, so you might have to move out, or we can try to see if we can work an agreement with the senior housing to see if they will allow your grandchild to stay there, especially if it's temporary. So there are options that we don't know. It's better to call us, and we can tell you based on our assessment, we will tell you what options you may have.
Okay. I have another question that I want to ask you. Oftentimes, people, I would say, minorities often say that they deal with issues when it comes to customer service and being treated like a number and things like that. I'm curious about your program and what's the one-on-one intimate relationship when you're dealing with customer service and things like that. Like, what are the programs that you guys? I heard you earlier say you have a rigorous program for the housing. What's the title for the housing counselors?
Oh, HUD certified housing counselors.
Right. What is the training and your experience with the relationship between customers and the clients rather, and the housing help staff?
So I can tell you my staff is very well trained, because as housing counselors, we wear many hats. There are times that we are couples mediators, because
Right.
for instance, one of the services that we do is foreclosure preventions, right? Somebody loses their income, and then you have husband and wife fighting like cats and dogs, right? And we're in the meantime, we're trying to save their homes, right?
Right.
So sometimes we are marriage counselors, sometimes
Many
we are
hats.
dealing so many hats. Sometimes we're dealing with people who are grieving, right? Someone that lost somebody and that impacted their income, and they are at risk of losing their homes. So I'm not going to tell you we are not social workers, because to be effective in housing counseling, we need people with more like math strong skills, right? To
Right.
do proper assessments, right? But all my team, all my housing counselors do take training from social workers, and every time something new comes up, then we are constantly
Updating.
they absolutely. Now, I am very proud to say that at Housing Help, we have a very diverse group of housing counselors. So we have somebody that speaks English, somebody that speaks Spanish, and somebody that speaks Haitian Creole. So somebody that understands all the cultures. So
Yeah,
if we
I think that's
identify,
important.
oh, absolutely, and that's
Yeah.
important to housing help. So because we can find, let me tell you, you can find somebody that speaks Spanish that only wants to talk to somebody that speaks Spanish.
Right.
But you speak some English, like no, or somebody. Sometimes it's that trust.
Right.
And the same
the
thing.
relatability.
Exactly.
That builds that
And
trust.
I see that also in the Haitian community. They want to talk to somebody like in their own language. So I have somebody that speaks Creole also at the office. It's not easy because our clients, when they call us, they're calling us because they're going under a lot of stress. Right. So we need to be very, my team, we're very compassionate. And not only that, but usually on the first calls, we're listeners, right? We're listeners first. There are times that some people call us and, because of their frustrations, they insulted us and call us things and we talk about it. But most of the experience have been a very good experience. And I can tell you Housing Help is an agency that we always answer the phones and all the calls are returned, always. And that's a rule that I have.
And I think that's key in the community is being able to have that consistent support. So, I just want to say, if you already have a housing choice voucher and you're worried about losing it, do not ignore the problem. Help is available. Calling Housing Help Inc. right away, acting early can make a big difference. If you want, you can shout out your Instagram and your Facebook so they can follow you and be able to get, the services that they need.
Absolutely. You can follow Housing Help on Facebook under Housing Help Inc. INC, or on Instagram, also Housing Help Inc. The same on, what are other...
Do you have TikTok?
We have TikTok, yeah. What else is there that Twitter. I don't know. Can you tell them I'm a Gen X,
Facebook,
sorry.
Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram,
Twitter.
TikTok, and Twitter. And LinkedIn. You see, I'm not so bad. And I also want to share with you that we are very proud that we are bringing services to the Hempstead community, and we are here accepting walk-in clients. You don't even need an appointment. Walk-in clients every Tuesday from 10 to 5:30.
Every Tuesday from 10 to 5:30.
102 Main Street, Hempstead. We're right here in this office. And
We're neighbors.
We're neighbors, exactly, yes. And also by appointment only here in Hempstead on Wednesdays. So Tuesdays is our walk-in day. No appointment necessary. Somebody will be here, whether you are a housing choice voucher holder or you are at risk of falling behind on your mortgage, or if you're looking to buy a home, or if you are looking for rental information. We are here for you, for everyone, and for the beautiful Hempstead community. We're happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming today and sharing with the people the things you guys offer for the community.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Step into the vibe, let me tell you what's real.
In the shadows and the light, there's power to feel.
Voices of Abba bringing wisdom like gold.
We won't let the stories of our lives go untold. Change is a whisper that you can't ignore. The future's a heartbeat, it's knocking at the door. Every lesson learned, every truth that we find, with purpose in our steps and the world in our mind.
We're standing on truth, knowledge is our wealth. Act with intention, it's about that self-help. The future's a moment, just a breath from now. Voices of Abba gotta show you.
Housing Help Inc. is a HUD-certified housing counseling agency providing free, confidential, trusted assistance. Our counselors help you understand your rights and responsibilities and connect you to trusted free legal help. Call today, 631-496-3256. Email info@housinghelpinc.org. Serving Hempstead, Wyandanch, Huntington, Central Islip, Riverhead.
Voices of Abba gotta show you.